Hi everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 5, our live fan reaction video. What an episode tonight. We've got some good stuff to talk about. Before we get started, super special shout out to the Patreon Army. I want to say thank you for everything that you guys do. And I see we got some super chatters in the house as well. Mitch Strupudden, great to see you. This is Super Fan. If you guys don't know Mitch Strupudden, can't stay because I'm not well, but I wanted to thank the Army on the last day of her super fandom and love and appreciate the entire group. Thank you so much. And as you guys know, what a great segue. We will be transitioning to our next super fan, and we've had some incredible ones so far. I really appreciated this episode. I know some people are going to look at it maybe like the Morgan episode, the filler on The Walking Dead, but a lot of good facts. We're starting to get some answers to the questions that we've had for a long time. If you guys missed our bold prediction video, we were spot on with a couple of these things, so we'll talk about that tonight. E-Beat says, well, we got a little more info tonight, so want to throw it out there for the group as we got a few people jumping in the stream. One of the things that we like to do in these reaction videos as soon as we get started is from a 1 to a 10, just want to ask the group, what do you guys think about tonight's episode? Give it a rating, and then we'll add a few more details. Maybe there's some clues that you saw at the very end, or some things that we're going to add to it that might raise your score a little bit. So 8.6, 8.8, 10s out there, 9.5. A few people saying 8s. June Smith gave it a 5. Well, there's no Rick Grimes, right? So Marcia Derbyshire, only a 4. Ooh. B gave it a 4 as well. So we're all over the place. We got anywhere from a 4 all the way up to 9.5s and a few 10s. Okay. Wendy Matza, only a 2. Okay. Well, you know, in tomorrow's episode, we're going to drill down a little bit deeper. I think some good things are going to come out of this, some dialogue. So I think what bothered some people was this was a mini time skip, right? We went back in time just a little bit to kind of get back. So all these things happened, and we ended where we started, or we ended where we ended last week. We got Crimson 19, containment, reclamation, and management. I like that. I like the initials because we know that we had a reclamation team coming in. Tammy Heitzman, best part of tonight's episode was a preview for next week. Yeah, it looks like June might be in a little danger next week. I'm thinking we're getting close. We're getting close. Let me say from tonight's episode, I don't think going into tonight we thought Al was going to die. But I do think that when you're in that situation and someone's looking away and there's a gun, we do have that moment where, okay, we didn't think she had died, but there's that slight possibility. And that was kind of that moment. She did kind of get to the point where we thought she was going to get to, and everything was important leading up to that. I'll get to that in one second because we got a super chat. Will the Bill, at least June and John were safe again. What was the most shocking or most moving part of tonight's episode? Those of you that rated it really high, 8.9, 9s, 9.5s, people that gave it a high score, what kind of made you really appreciate tonight's episode? Julie McGuire says, someone needs to die. So I'm right there with you. Kevin says the relationship. Yeah, you know, a lot of people, maybe that was the moment. I was a little shocked by the fact that this group will kill to save their secret. Althea talking about her brother. Is there any chance her brother still... Look, I made a bold prediction a while back. Is it possible her brother could still be Abraham? I mean, she did have that tape. Abe and the doctor. Maybe she thought her brother was dead, and he's not. Well, Abraham's last name is Ford, but if that's his real last name. I just have a feeling her brother's still alive. And she saw everything happening, the National Guard in the background, but we didn't see her brother die. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her last name. She said it quickly. I have to go back and watch it several times and write it down. Someone will capture it. All right, couple hidden clues. How many people caught the shooting star? It was faint right before it went to commercial break. Most did. You barely got a chance to see it. So, for those of you that gave it a lower score, did you think it was long, it was drawn out, too much dialogue, too much story, too predictable? I mean, what was it that kind of held you back a little bit? Don't want to go there. Isabel. Al has a brother. Well, we knew she had some family, but we just confirmed it. So some of the people said it was very predictable. All right, here's a couple things that I thought Fear the Walking Dead did really well tonight. We know we've had a Walker-nado, we've had an alligator, we've had some cool stuff. Tonight, go ahead, hashtag it. I'm going to coin the phrase before anybody else. We had a Walker Lanch. Hashtag Walker Lanch. I mean, they keep doing some great stuff. A Walker avalanche. First time ever on the... Actually, maybe not the first time, because if we remember the scene with Morgan and Jesus and Alden, there was a mini Walker Lanch on The Walking Dead, but it wasn't of the rock climbing variety. It was like a small hill that they were rolling down, and then it led to the scene with Morgan and Jesus fighting. Well, this one was well done. Now, at first glance, I would have said the rock climbing seemed a little bit predictable because you've got the dude hanging there. But there was a story. These are people, that was Beckett. So these are people that are acquaintances of Isabel. And it had its moments, they're swinging back and forth. Now, look, with that, they got to climb a rock. I get it. It did seem a little silly. That's the only way they could get there. But she ran out of fuel. And maybe I'm stretching a little bit here. But could there be a backstory to Isabel running out of fuel? These people seem very structured, organized. They know where they're going. So it was almost as if Isabel was heading to get the fuel, and then They had the emergency, they had the plane crash, and Al's story took precedence over safety and everything else. She had to divert just a little bit. She had it timed. They're very calculated, but then she had to deviate a little bit and be on the scene. Grimes on the radio. Do you think she knows Ann? I do. I do. There's a connection. Al's going to the movies? Well, Joey, I mean, it depends. We do have one other person that now has knowledge of this top secret group. What did you guys think about Al keeping the secret? If you were in that situation, let me kind of ask a question to the group. If any of you were in that situation where you saw something, they burnt your tape, and you got a story to tell, shouldn't she be able to trust Morgan or Alicia or someone? Is she putting them at risk by not telling them? That's the question that I guess I would have. Isabel pretty much said, well, if you talk about this or if you know anything, you're at risk. But if she doesn't tell them, then they run into them again, then we got a problem. Secrets are dangerous? Absolutely. Yeah, Morgan, Uncle Creepy Morgan did know she was lying. He knows there's a little bit more to it. She just didn't disappear and be on the run and all of a sudden the radio. I mean, it'll obviously come back up. Or did she pull a double switch? That's probably going to be the real, the real speculation going forward. That wasn't the real tape. Burn the Abe tape. Yeah, we're going to time that comment out. Omicron. Not appropriate. Rolex, just here to say, Will is going to win DC to Georgia. All right, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. I'm not getting into the timetables of the time skip and where Rick's at. We went through that at length on the last stream, so we're just going to react to tonight's episode. Now later on, it'll be Monday because I don't think we're doing a stream on Wednesday. We're going to dig down a little bit further and we're going to speculate the movie, the time frame, next week's episode, a couple of things. Is the CRM story arc over now? I don't think so. I think the CRM story, they gave us a hint of it. I don't think they can just leave us with all this information. But I don't think we're going to see it again until the end. But I will say this. It was good to get some semi-closure to the story because now we can go full steam ahead with the radiation, with the connection that these kids have, and then Logan. So we had 3, I think, underlying plots going on at the same time. I mean, Daniel's a whole different story. And Dwight's whole I guess there were 5. Let's take Daniel and Dwight out of the equation. We've got the radioactive group, we've got the CRM group, and we got Logan. So now, I think when Isabel went left and Althea went right, that was just a little bit of closure. At least we're going to talk about it for a long time, but I think as an audience we know, all right, move to the next story. And the next story is the kids and the radioactive stuff. And then it's going to be finding a way to get back to the denim factory and dealing with Logan. Leanne, and we are. I mean, the reunion's starting to happen. So we're absolutely ramping up for a death. We haven't had a death, like a real death, in a while. So here's the question. Episode 6 next week. Will we get our first death? And if you had to make a bold prediction, who possibly could be on the chopping block for next week? Leave your thoughts and comments right now. Want to get some of the activity. And while I'm reading a few of the comments, you guys do me a favor. If you guys like what we do, you have a good time, you like the reaction videos, you're going to be with us all during the week and funnel it down, then give this video a thumbs up. We got some people saying Strand. Oh, we got some June in there. Charlie. Any of the kids. Yeah, some of the B characters could go. Some people saying John. Lucy. Luciana. Lucy has been too close to death too many times. I don't think she's going to die. I mean, Al kind of got bit, but that jacket. And I guess Isabel couldn't leave the jacket because that would be evidence like, hey, where'd you get the cool coat from? No. But I would like to have one of those. It's like Glenn's suit. You know, Glenn had that cool suit for a while. But I don't know. I guess that jacket could be a little warm in Texas. Mitchell, there's no chance Morgan is going to be killed off. 0. Morgan and Dwight are untouchable. It's a good point. Rather be a little bit warm than bitten. I'm not going to argue with you there. Yeah, Julia, I don't know if it's a case of Morgan dying, if it would bother. I mean, I'm sure Morgan... I just think it's he's so big. I mean, he's such a big star. I don't see Morgan, Alicia, even Strand to a degree. I think there's just a certain... protocol. I just feel like it's going to be Lucy or June. And I did feel like it was going to be Lucy first, but now that she keeps having these close calls, I don't know. I'm starting to divert my attention toward June or John. Good point. He's an anchor. They got to keep the star power there. All right, tomorrow we're going to break this down a little bit further. I want to get the reactions, but the one thing that I did want to say with this CRM group, the reclamation group, did this not feel like a great setup for the Rick Grimes movie, for the Walking Dead movie? That we know that Rick is taken by a group that is big, that is doing research, but It's like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So now we know that this group might help Rick. They might train Rick. But do you understand now why Rick has been gone for 7 years? If Rick leaves, this group could zoom in and kill everyone. So that's the story right now. We got Eric Beach. Where are we at with the Rick connections? So Al could not tell anybody about the group because it would jeopardize them and what they're doing behind the scenes because they're an extremely big group. So if Rick, they probably give him the choice. All right, look, you want to go find your family? You go find your family. By the way, our reclamation team, they're going to zoom in and kill everybody that you talked to about our project. So because Rick has knowledge of it, he risked his family by going back to his family. Well, Grimes, I don't know he's even forced to stay. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that he's forced to stay, but it's more of a threat of him leaving rather than we're going to kill you if you leave. Absolutely. They know where everybody is. So their safety is not knowing what's going on. Tom wants to know, do I think it's part of the government? I think yes, I think it's what's left of the government. I think this is the new government. This is the Commonwealth. This is, when she said these maps would get you in trouble, we have other places. Now, maybe it's Ohio, maybe it's something a little bit different, but it's the government. It's a behind-the-scenes group that's trying to rebuild civilization. And they are bringing in people, but you can't leave. Because, as Isabel said, they'll kill you for operational security. I loved it. You know, Julia, that's one of the things we'll talk about tomorrow. I've got 4 pages full of notes. The rock climbing I thought was great. The Walker Ranch I thought was great. The tent in the tree for safety. The 72-hour countdown. The last night together. You know, I don't want to make it too romantic or too cheesy or too corny. But of all the things that we see on The Walking Dead, the death and the destruction and there's no purpose in life, 2 people enjoying a beer together and having a moment or a bond and looking at the stars. You had to kind of pause because you get this view that you don't get to see. I mean, at night, most people are just trying to fight for survival. You're kind of in a situation and you don't know where the walker is going to come at you next. Well, they were safe. I've said it from day one. My zombie apocalypse stronghold would be at the top of a mountain. You could actually get a good night's sleep. Think about all the nights these people sleep in some place and you don't know if a person's going to kill you or if a walker is going to sneak up on you, any of the above. And they had this completely, they had to work for it, right? It shows all the trials and tribulations and climbing up this rock and the struggle. And then you get to that moment where you have an ice cold beer and you get to see the stars and a shooting star. You know, the rarity of that. I liked it. That's why I gave it a little bit of extra bonus points. I had the show solidly rated a 9 tonight. It is going to bridge a lot of things. I think it told a little bit of the story I needed to tell. It didn't give me every little bit of information, so we can certainly, have our funnel theories and this is going to be around for a while. This is certainly going to be, there's enough bits and pieces that we'll be able to talk about what the future looks like. And while we're doing that, we also can kind of propel the story forward. The helicopter leaving got us right back to where we were last week. Now we're here with these kids, and then the next challenge. And those cars are meant to keep people out. So we see Alicia, she's going head over heels after this group. Enough is enough. They got us at this spot. So I think next week we're going to get to see a little bit of that badassery. We're going to see a little bit of Morgan, Dwight, John, everybody's skills in full display next week. But with that, if somebody doesn't die next week, you guys know how I feel. Episode 7 and Episode 15. Right before the midseason finale and right before the end of the season, that's where we get more death than anything. So if we don't see something drastic next week, it's going to be a setup. So next week could be storming in to find out, who these scientists are, this radiation situation, and then, maybe Episode 7 or 8 we find out that somebody could be contaminated. Nope, no riot here. June's like, after Kills re-rates it, I think we'll take tonight, let everything sink in. YouTube and the internet, there's going to be a few clues that we missed tonight. So I'm going to ask you guys just do me a big favor. If I missed any of your comments, there's some really good thoughts, some really good ideas in here. Bring your thoughts and bring your ideas tomorrow night at 9:30 so we can do an extensive breakdown of tonight's show. Once we go back to the helicopter, the tapes, there might have been some sleight of hand. There's probably 1 or 2 clues that we missed. But if we did, we're going to get back to it tomorrow night and get a full recap. So be here. And also, one more announcement. Tuesday night, we'll be doing our random things. And then after that, we're taking a few days off for the 4th of July holiday. So we will be off 4 days and will not be back until Sunday. So it's going to be extended vacation. So if you guys are going out of town, certainly have a safe holiday. But we got 2 more days here, so certainly would love for all of you to be here tomorrow night and break it down. And I think, did I miss a super chat? Did I miss a birthday super chat? Hold on 1 second before we close the stream down. Shout out from Amy Ferrero to Joe Aiden. Want to shout out. It is his birthday. So let's do that. Let's wind down the stream with one big happy birthday to Joe. And one more shout out to our super fan, Mitch True Puddin'. Tomorrow night's episode, we will have a brand new super fan, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You'll have to tune in tomorrow and find out who the next person that is going to be getting the custom emoji. Thanks for everything that you guys do. Once again, hit the like button on the way out the door. I'll see everybody tomorrow night at 9:30. You guys have a wonderful evening. Peace.